Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm here today to talk to you about Chapter 5 from Teach Like a Champion. And Chapter 5 is about creating a strong classroom culture. So you can find this chapter in your book on page 145, and we at PBIS decided it would be just like super hip to make you this very short video to just kind of go over the main points of the chapter for you in a nutshell, just to basically save you the time for reading. But it's a great chapter. I've read it like 6 times. I highly recommend it. Anyway, according to Doug, there are 5 principles to create a strong classroom culture. The first one is discipline. Discipline, according to my friend Doug, is a noun that refers to the process of teaching someone the right way to do something or just the state of being able to make the right choice. This quote pretty much summarizes like the entire like mantra, I guess, of this chapter. If they're not doing what you ask, the most likely explanation is that you haven't taught them. The next principle of classroom culture is management, which, according to Doug, is the process of reinforcing behavior by consequences and rewards. And he says it's only effective if you use it in conjunction with the other 4. The next one being control. Control is your capacity to cause somebody to choose to do what you ask regardless of consequence. Emphasis on the word choose. Teachers who have strong control succeed because they understand the power of language and relationships. They ask respectfully, firmly, and confidently, but also with civility and often kindly. So that's kind of like the magic potion. I think that's like super cool. They express their faith in students. Gotta love the faith. All right. The next principle is influence. So influence is inspiring students to believe, like want to succeed and want to like work for it for intrinsic reasons. If you can do that, it means that you are influencing them. Our last of the 5 principles of strong classroom management, classroom culture kind of stuff, is engagement, right? That's the trick, isn't it? So to keep students positively engaged in productive work, um, my good friend Karl Marx, who I know personally, once said that people's beliefs and values are a product of everyday life, and that was just a quote from the chapter. And I love Karl Marx. I just had to like throw that in there. Anyway, so those are our 5 principles, but we're not done yet because if you haven't read this book, then I'm going to just tell you now how amazing this book is. Again, here it is again. Look, here I am. Whee! Okay, and what they do is they don't just say like blah blah blah, duh, here's good teaching. They give you like really like specific, outstanding strategies. So I've tried a whole bunch of these and I'm like really pleased with them. So there they are, and now we're going to take a closer look. There are 8 techniques that I'm going to very briefly go over, and then you can refer back to them in your book if you want to learn more. Um, the first one is principle number 20, or sorry, technique number 28, which is the entry routine. So basically have a small table or just some area for students to pick up all their papers, pretty much put the accountability on them as they walk into the classroom, and then have the same place for them to put in homework at the same time every class. Furthermore, like the agenda and like whatever their homework assignment's going to be and kind of like what they're doing for the day and objectives should be in the same place every day so students know exactly what to expect. So that's kind of like how to establish their entry routine. A lot of us do bell work, which Doug calls do now, which is strategy number 29. So this is just kind of like Madeline Hunter style anticipatory set, which is designed to get kids thinking about, like whatever we're going to teach them that class. It should require no help from us, so it should be independent, and it should take like about 5 minutes-ish. Um, he says that it should be written to encourage rigor and also accountability, so they can't just sit there and stare at me like, yeah, I did it, I'm good, right? Okay. So the next one is strategy number 30, type transitions. Very alliterative. He says that expectations for transitions need to be routine. And the routines then, here's like going back to that quote, need to be scaffolded or like taught directly and then, given practice by the teacher, okay? So routines and expectations should be consistent and teachers should distribute materials quickly and efficiently. Basically, he gives this whole big like thing about how to like arrange your classroom into rows or groups and how to like make the kids kind of responsible for handing back papers, which is something I need to work on. Okay, next, number 31 is binder control. This one requires a place for students to take notes. It requires that, like, take out your binders. Like, everybody has a binder or a notebook or whatever. He says ideally it should be teacher provided and then it should be kept in the classroom. And the purpose of this is to kind of teach all the students with the same format for organizing papers in their, folder or whatever it is. And he says it's like a great idea to number them. So you could say like, yo, our test is going to cover, what does he say? Like pages 32 to 45. Take those home and study them, bring them back when you're done and put them back in your folder in the right place. So again, kind of explicitly teaching organization and all that fun stuff. This one kind of struck me honestly as a bit like elementary schoolish, but I feel like we could probably like repackage this for high school students. And he calls this one Slant, which is sit up, listen, ask and answer questions, nod your head, and track the speaker as ways to like kind of keep students focused and engaged in class. Okay. The next one is number 33, on your mark. So he's like, okay, like be explicit about what students need to have at the start of class. Like get ready for class. On your mark, get set, bell, go. Right? Okay. So he says set a time limit. So as you come into class, you know, take your stuff off the table, take out your books, sit down, boom, be in your seat by blah, whatever time the bell rings. Okay. Use a standard consequence. So basically, if you're not prepared for class at the bell when I'm ready to start teaching, there's a detention, there's like a loss of privilege. If there's like a token economy, you lose like a token for that day, you know, whatever it is. Um, if a student does come up to you though, like while you're in the hallway greeting your students and say, "Hey, Miss Miller, I like left my backpack at home. Can I borrow like paper and pen for today or whatever?" Yeah, no problem, no consequence. But if I hand something out and I'm expecting students to be working, and like 20 minutes in the class, somebody's like, "Oh, hey, oh, I need a pencil," and I've been sitting here doing nothing for 20 minutes, then there should be a consequence for that. And he says also, like, and this is kind of repetitive from before, he says include a routine then for handing in homework. So it's like the same daily expectation. Finally, we have strategy number 35, which is called props. Okay, props is me messing up my Prezi. Okay, sorry. So props is public praise for students who demonstrate excellence or exemplifying virtues. He says they should be quick, they should be visceral and percussive, like a boom boom kind of like, I didn't really clap because my kid is sleeping right now, but you know what I mean, like something like loud that the kids can all engage in, but again, quick. Universal, like everybody should be at least encouraged like to join in. It should be enthusiastic and it should be evolving, which means that like, you know, over time let the students suggest basically ideas for how to give props, like, you know, kind of let the kids get into it, which I think would promote their engagement as well. That is a very quick overview of the 8 strategies or techniques that Doug, my buddy, talks about in chapter 5 for how to build strong classroom culture. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and thank you PBIS, and I hope you all have a just spectacular, spectacular day.